Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I got another top deck for you. Excited about this one, an archetype that I've been talking about quite a bit today, actually, and been in discussions with maybe several of you. But with that said, we are also going to talk about the main board, talk about the sideboard, then we'll talk about how to sideboard, and then we'll play some best of one and best of three competitive Magic. So that's what we got going on in today's episode. And additionally, Planeswalkers, this deck hails to us from the Platinum to Mythic 6+ wins. So very, very excited to cover this. And I think it's a nice flavor in terms of the current meta that I'm excited to share with you today. Now, quickly, as always, I just want to say thank you because I really, really appreciate your support. I don't take it for granted. There's obviously ways to connect below and support the channel in the description there. You guys can find one of those that makes sense. And then additionally, as always, I appreciate your support via subscription down over there. Additionally, if you like the video, please like it. You can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch to stay up to date on daily videos like this. Now, lastly, Planeswalkers, you can stay tuned to my Mythic journey by checking out my profile down below. And additionally, I've included the link so that you can get your own companion from Untapped to do the same. And I would love to see your journey, so please feel free to stay connected and let me know how you're doing as well, because I love seeing your success. Your success is my success. All right, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and talk about today's deck, because I'm sure you guys have been patient enough to sit here for about a minute and a half and listen to me. So anyway, let's see what we got going on, because you guys came here to see this. We have an Abzan Ultimatum deck, my friends. So Abzan Ultimatum is the name of the game today. That naming convention comes to us from the above here, so which is first the color schema, which is black, white, and green, or swamp, plains, and forests, to give us the Abzan colors. That hails to us from one of the 5 tribes, or sorry, clans in Tarkir. So that's the specifics around that to get that naming convention. And then additionally, Ultimatum comes to us from this particular card in the deck, but it's an Ikoria specific. There were several ultimatums released, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this here in a minute when we go through the deck. Now, quickly, Planeswalkers, as always, many of you already know, deck list is available for you in the description, as well as links. So if you prefer those, you can go that route as well. But always you can copy and paste and get going right away. And if you do have problems or troubles, please feel free to message me. I'll make sure that I can get you what you need. Quickly here, we'll cover the deck list as I mentioned. We'll come back, we'll talk about the main board, we'll talk about the sideboard, we'll talk about how to sideboard, we'll do our best of one and our best of 3 matches. And I'm super excited, as you can tell, to do this for you today. Now, lastly, as I'm running through the deck, as you're looking at these things, if you have a question, please let me know down below. Again, there's other ways to connect with me, things like Discord, all that, if you do have questions. So happy to do that as well. All right, Planeswalkers, so what do we got going on here? We'll look through what we got here for a minute and do a quick flyby, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. And quickly, it's going to be pretty important, again, for us to make sure that we understand the objectives of this deck. So for those of you that are unaware or can tell by the deck list here, it's primarily a mid-range deck going towards a late game. So keep that in mind. Most of the stuff that we have going on that's going to be more powerful is in the space. The early game stuff is kind of about board control as well as graveyard fill, which we'll talk about some of these things in a minute. So first off, we have Glass Casket. So this card is an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, we get to target a creature that opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves. Then we have Heartless Act. So Heartless Act is an instant speed spell where we can destroy target creature with no counters or remove up to 3 counters from a target creature. Then we have Mire Train. So here begins kind of this graveyard fill. So this creature has Death Touch, and then when Mire Train enters the battlefield, we get to mill 2 cards and we gain 2 life. Then we have Skull Prophet. So here's what's interesting. This Skull Prophet not only gives us ramp ability, not only is it a 3/1 creature, but we also get to mill 2 cards here with the tap ability. So very, very powerful again, and we'll get to these things here in a minute. Then we have Skyclave Apparition. Again, probably one of the most powerful white cards in the Zendikar's Rising release. When this creature enters, we can exile up to anything, essentially, except it can't be not a land. Non-land permanent that we don't control with converted mana cost 4 or less. So when we do that, if Skyclave does leave, that owner of that permanent is going to be able to create an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the converted mana cost of that exiled card. Now, here's what's interesting. So we ran the Sultai control deck yesterday. I was actually slightly surprised to not see this. And then also today, I'm also slightly surprised not to see Garruk in this one as well. So it's always interesting on choices of Planeswalkers. But in this particular deck, we are running Nissa of Shadowed Boughs. And here, this creature, or this Planeswalker, Nissa, has landfall. So whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we get an added loyalty counter to Nissa. For our +1, we can untap target land we control. We may have it become a 3/3 elemental creature with haste and menace until end of turn, and it's still land. But then our down 5, we may put a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands we control on the battlefield from our hand, or graveyard, and then add 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So very, very nice in terms of some of the ramp also from the graveyard. So that's the first piece in terms of some of that graveyard play. I also realized that I skipped 2 cards here. So I missed Landlord Visionary. So this card here is, again, a 3-drop, a ramp card, and a cantrip. I was too excited to go check out Nissa. We have a free draw when this enters the battlefield. That's the cantrip. And this is a very, very powerful card in terms of ramping. We also have Agadeem's Awakening. So technically, this is the first one in the path here, not Nissa, in terms of graveyard play. But what this does is this returns a card from the graveyard to the battlefield, or any number of target creatures that each have a different converted mana cost X or less, or it can come in as a tapped land, or we can pay 3 and have it come in so we can play it right away. So this gives us access. The more we have, the more we can cast backwards. And again, this is creature cards, so it won't hit the Planeswalkers. So we talked about Nissa. Next, we got my favorite artifact golem here, Solemn Simulacrum. And here, this creature enters the battlefield. We get to do some deck thinning with a land by pulling a basic land from our library, putting it onto the battlefield. And then additionally, when this creature dies, we get to draw a card. Then we get into Elspeth Conquers. I like this as a one-off for 2 reasons. 1, it's good for best of 1. 2, it's great for best of 3. And primarily, it's optional, and it gives us a decent option. So many of you, I get a lot of questions of, and you can see this in this deck, why 2 or why 3? 1, it just gives us more situations. I will tell you, in the particular meta that we run today, you want to be more diverse in your decks, just given the nature of the wider variety that we're seeing within the ecosystem. So first off here, this is a saga. We get 3 things. We get lore counters. Here we exile target permanent an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Second, the next turn, non-creature spells our opponent's cast will cost 2 more until our next turn. And then lastly, we can return target creature or planeswalker card from our graveyard to the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter or loyalty counter on it. So that is another access to graveyard here. So this is, again, this recursion theme is going to be very, very powerful here. We have Vivian, Monsters Advocate. So again, a really, really nice mid-range card here. Helps us build board state for late game and can also be a finisher. So we may look at the top of our library anytime, and we may cast creature cards from that with this card, with this Planeswalker on the board. Now, our +1, we can create a 3/3 green beast creature token, and we get a choice of either Vigilance, Reach, or Trample on it. And then additionally, for our down 2, when we cast our next creature, we may search our library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, and then put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle our library. So very, very powerful here. Vivian's great. We also have Yorion. So Obviously, a lot of times this is played as the companion card. Here, we're not playing as the companion. We're playing it actually in the main board, which is pretty powerful. So we don't have to worry about our constraint, and we still get access that when Yorion enters the battlefield, we essentially get our blanks, so we can exile any number of other non-land permanents we control and return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of our next end step. So lots of things that we can do here and get a lot of access with the blank, so it's nice to see that. Additionally, we have Kogla. So Kogla, I think one of the first times you maybe you've seen me play this particular card was the Selesnya Yorion deck. So this was where we had the Yorions actually mainboarded similar as this. You guys can absolutely check that one out. It's a great video, and won a Red Bull tournament, I think it was. I have to go back and check. Either first or second weekend after some of the bannings, and really brought around the Yorion decks itself. But again, Kogla here, the Titan Ape. It's a legendary creature. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature we don't control. And then when it attacks, it destroys target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. And then we can always return it for return target human we control to its owner's hand. And then Kogla gains indestructible. Unfortunately, we don't have any of those humans here, but stay tuned because we got another little trick here coming up. We also have another modal land here. So similar to Agadeem's Awakening, we have Turn Timber Serpentine Wood and Turn Timber Symbiosis here. So this again can either enter as a land tapped, you can pay 3 to have it untapped and play it right away, or you get access to the sorcery spell here where we get a look at the top 7 cards of our library. We may put a creature card from among them on the battlefield. If that card has converted mana cost 3 or less, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. We put the rest on the bottom of our library. I think it's in a random order. And then lastly here, we have EERIE Ultimatum. So closing out our good old nomenclature naming convention here. This card is very powerful. We have the graveyard play, and this thing gives us all the access we need, where we can return any number of permanent cards with different names from our graveyard to the battlefield. So this is another main reason why you're going to run things as a 2 of or a 3 of in this deck, because you're only going to get more access with this card as well. And then lastly, from a land perspective, we got a bunch of modal lands. We got some scry lands, and then we have our lovely triomes there as well. Again, Planeswalkers, questions, comments, let me know down below. Always happy to answer there, or hit me up in one of the other community ways that I do engage with you. Next, let's go ahead and talk about this sideboard, because it's going to be important for those of us that enjoy playing best of 3 as well. So first off here, we have Duress. So Duress allows us to look at our opponent's hand. We choose a non-creature, non-land card. From it, that player discards the card. One, you're not going to play this against creature-based decks. A good spot for it is going to be potentially mid-range, but definitely in the late game. Anything like the Orzhov Doom decks, Esper Doom decks, Yorion decks, control decks late game, Grixis decks, potentially Rakdos mid-range, and some of the other stuff that we have been playing. So like Big Red, which is mono red control, mono black control, mono whatever X Ugin deck. This one you're probably going to play. Next, we got Chainweb Arachner. So this is the perfect card still, as we always mention, against Dimmer Rogues deck, against the mill decks. You're going to want to have this once in your board, your main board. It's got reach, and then when it enters, it deals power. It's damage power to target creature an opponent controls with flying, and then it also has that lovely escape where we can exile 4 other cards, pay 5, and then this creature escapes with 3 +1/+1 counters, essentially allowing it to take out any of the rogue flyers or most of the stuff that is not a Yorion. The other trick here is run this in the mono white aggro decks as well. This will allow you to shoot down some of those angelic main board guys that they get access to the sideboard and so forth, and also stop some of those threats. So that's a great spot for that. Next, we have Eliminate. So this is going to be a friend against aggro decks. We get to destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. Also, you could run it against any opponents running planeswalkers that are 3 or less. But realistically, you're going to want to run this against things like mono green. You can run against food decks. You can run it against Gruul decks. You can run it against mono red. You can run it against the Boros Knights deck that we've done. You can run against Boros Warriors deck that we've done as well. Lots of spots for this one. Very good against the Rogues decks. This will help you get the crab mill off too. Next, we got Omen of the Sun. So we don't have humans in the main board. This gives you access to humans, so this will keep Kogla alive, so keep this in mind. But what is Omen of the Sun? It is an enchantment that's got flash. When it enters, we create 2 1/1 human creature soldiers that are tokens, and we gain 2 life. And then additionally, we get that ability to scry 2 here. So where does this work? I would run this against aggro. I'd run this against areas where you may need some life gain. Again, we need Kogla to do some fighting or have some indestructible tied to them. I would run that. I like this against things like Esper Doom or Zav Doom because it gives you another sack outlet. You can also keep Kogla around, kind of a thing if you need. So the flash is nice. Also against some of the aggro stuff, just to get the bodies, get the life gain back. It can be pretty powerful and be a surprise as well. Next, we got Demon's Disciple. So this card's pretty interesting. I was, when I was looking at this, again, this is from Zendikar Rising. When this creature enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. So I think it pairs well with Omen of the Sun, 1. But 2, we do have plenty of things here that we can sack and put in the graveyard, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. I would run this against decks that are definitely creature-based or more of the mid-range late game, relying on 1 or 2 creatures. This is going to catch them off guard. A lot of people aren't going to be prepared for this, so you definitely will have the ability to leverage this card to take things out off the board, especially threats. So this could run decently against a Karoxa deck, a mid-range Rakdos deck. It can run decently against some of the Yorion decks because you drop this, you're going to get Yorion off the board. Lots of things like that. So keep those things in mind as you're playing. This is definitely going to be a useful card for you, and it's not going to cost you much, and you get the recursion with it, which is going to help your whiteboards. Now, here is our card to getting rid of our opponent's graveyard. So again, another saga here, Elspeth's Nightmare. We get to destroy target creature opponent controls with power 2 or less. Target opponent reveals their hand. We choose a card, a non-creature, non-land card. That player then discards that card for 2. And then 3, we get to exile a target opponent's graveyard. So I would play this against things like Big Red, like I mentioned, mono red control, gets Ox off the board, gets Phoenix out of the board. I would run this against anyone leveraging their own graveyard, so mirror match here. Definitely against this one. You're going to want to run it against things like, so I think you guys saw me try and play in Esper Doom deck yesterday too, so you guys can check that one out with the Sultai control deck or mid-range. But this will help you get rid of Dance from the Manse recursion as well, so keep that in mind. Oh, excuse me. Staring at computer screens all day. That's a good one to play it against. Additionally, you can play this against rogue decks. That can help you. Anything running Lurrus, you can run this. Also, again, this is a good one to play against some of the cycle decks. Whew. All right. Last but not least in our sideboard, we have Extinction Event. So this one you're going to want to play against creature-based decks. Choose out or even exile each creature with converted mana cost of the chosen value. You can also play this to get some value out of it because it does have exile against things that you know that you need to not let hit the graveyard. So it pairs well with that Elspeth's Nightmare. So this, you could potentially run this against a mid-range Karoxa deck if you want. You can run it against some of the later game decks too, just to get those things totally gone. So that's definitely a thought and something to keep in mind. But realistically, you're going to want to run this thing against like mono red, rogues decks, other aggro like Gruul. You can run against all the other decks that I had mentioned, things like Wanada, those kinds of things are still around. So just so many in this healthy meta. But that's kind of how I would play that card. All right, Planeswalkers, we talked about the main board. We talked about the sideboard. I will talk about how to sideboard, and we're going to go from a aggro mid-range late game. So first off, when we think about aggro, again, I already kind of covered the specifics, but in general, what I would run is I'm going to run Eliminate, probably run Omen of the Sun. Depending on, I do like this as a kill spell, so depending on what they're doing there, you might want Extinction Event, you might want Demon's Disciple. So you could go as high as 10 if you wanted to. You definitely don't have to, but that will make you very, very aggressive. And let's check right now how many lands we have. We do have 22. Again, a lot of high-end stuff here in terms of the mana curve. So we do have the opportunity to really shift left here. Further on in terms of lower casting costs, we do have a lot of good things here, so I wouldn't change any of those. I like these ones here as well. Where I would begin to take a look is Kogla is expensive. I do like the card as a good one option. I would maybe drop the Golem here. I would drop Elspeth. I would maybe drop one Yorion. I would only keep, actually, it's kind of crazy, but I may only keep like 2 EERIE Ultimatums. Or you could use it hopefully as a blowout card too. But if you do go that route, I would maybe cut one here, cut these, maybe cut one here, and cut 3. So that's 3, 1, 4, 5. You could go 6. So that's 6. You know, we want to get 4 more here. So like I said, we're running 22 lands plus 6 plus 4, 26. 22 plus 4 is 26, yes. So I would, you could cut a land or 2 if you wanted and go 24. It'd be pretty risky. That get you to 8. I'd still like having these things situational, but if you really wanted to, if I were to take a pure play pass of this, I'd go 3, 5, 6, 7, and then you could go obviously to 9 here and cut 1 EERIE, and then you're going to be really, really aggressive. And then the whole key is going to be recursion here with EERIE Ultimatum to get all your stuff back. So that could be a thought for you, and that's definitely going to get all the things in here. Preferably, I would try and keep these 2 at my high end. That's just me, because they're definitely going to help you. Next, we got our mid-range decks. So these are things like I mentioned. You can kind of consider Gruul aggro at times, but realistically, it's going to be like we did the Sultai mid-range yesterday. You guys can also take a look at the Kroxa or Rakdos mid-range. And there you're going to want to probably play Duress. Probably not Eliminate. Probably Omen of the Sun you could potentially play if you wanted to keep Kogla on. So that's the thought. You may play Elspeth's Nightmare, and you may play Demon's Disciple. So let's call it 4 to 6 there. And what would I change up? One, if they're not running low-end creatures, Glass Casket's an easy one for you to get off. You could always drop 1 Heartless Act. I still like Skyclave Apparition because it does connect a lot. If they're not playing anything of value in that space, though, you can definitely get rid of those. You could always cut a Llanowar Visionary as well. I still like, against mid-range, I like to get some of the advantage here, and some of these other higher-end cards are still going to have value. So that's kind of where I would focus in terms of making some changes to the deck. Now, last, we have control / late game decks, and those ones in particular are going to want to run Duress, and it's probably going to depend on what you're playing. Most likely it's going to be a Yorion, or it's going to be more of a pure spell based deck. You're not going to want to play Extinction Event necessarily. You may want Elspeth's Nightmare and Duress. That's 5. You may want an Omen of the Sun if they are running the Doom decks or the Yorion decks. So let's go 5 to 7 there. What would I change out? You're probably going to dump Glass Casket again. It's going to give you 3. You could always get rid of Heartless Act and Skyclaves again if you wanted. And then the only other spot, I would keep your high end the way it is. I would maybe dump one Golem here and maybe 1 Yorion. But you're definitely going to want to keep the rest of this because you're going to need that board flooding here. So hopefully that gives you an idea, Planeswalkers, between aggro, mid-range, and then late game as well. Again, questions, comments, let me know down below. Always happy to chat. Please, you feel free to join the Discord community as well, because I know a lot of you enjoy answering other people's questions too, and always want to have other ways to connect. So Planeswalkers, we're going to go ahead now. That concludes the talking about the deck, talking about the main board, sideboard, talking about how to sideboard. So we're going to go play some competitive Magic for you now. So quickly here, again, this was there's that Sultan mid-range deck I was talking about yesterday. You guys can check out. Here is our Abzan Ultimatum deck for today in best of 1. Now, quickly, Planeswalkers, as always, I just want to say thank you. Like I said earlier, I really appreciate your support and don't take it for granted. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch to stay up to date on content like this. So, no gives on the battlefield. We'll keep this because it gives us access to everything that we need. We have decent control. Could be a little slow. If we hit a mono red deck or a Gruul aggro deck, it could be a problem for us. So we'll see. And as always, as I was mentioning, other ways to support the channel down below if you'd like. I've been adding some new ways to stay in touch with other ways for us to interact. But there we got our Triome. Turn 2, I'm going to drop a Temple of Plenty, and then we'll go from there and see if we need to play Skyclave Apparition. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we got a control deck so far. We'll keep that one too. So we'll go another Temple of Plenty after this one. Alright, so it's a Doom deck. So it's definitely, there it is. So that means we're gonna have to say Skyclave. I could consider hitting the egg here too, which I may do, because this is going to go away next turn. And if we get a Yorion, we can keep bouncing this. So that, unfortunately, did not help us. We can do this.
You do not protect this land. You are my enemy. The land will devour intruders.
I would assume Elspeth conquers death, but we'll find out. Or Vivian. So I could have played. So the other play there I could have done is, because I know that I would have gotten Nissa on anyway. Interesting that they took the other Nissa off. So they might have an Elspeth conquers deck. Yeah, there's a Doom. Yep. Which is fine, because now if we hit her, we'll be able to. There we go. We will be able to get our Elspeth next turn. I don't need that. So we need a Swamp Source, if you guys count that. So 7. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we just need one more swamp. So ideally we'll get Elspeth Conquers Death next turn and hit the Doom Foretold. As long as they don't have a counter and playing that one. Now, they could play another Doom Foretold. Oh, there you go. I'll take the 2. Ooh. So let's see here. We gotta look either way. So we'll play this. We'll take out Doom for gold. We'll get EERIE Ultimatum next turn, and we can get 3 things back. I'm gonna look. I think I want to peg my draw. I don't want that one. So now we can play our EERIE Ultimatum. And we will play each of these. Oh, this is so good, my friends. So good.
You must contain the blight that dwells within.
Let's get rid of the egg. I missed that they had one there, unfortunately. So next we'll go creature card. Do we have a creature card? No. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll take our temple.
The swamps come to my aid.
So here's what I can do now. So I can block with Skyclave without worrying about anything. Then I can always use Nissa to pull it back and hit something as well. So I'm definitely going to play... I can get both Vivian and March right now if I need to. It's a great match. Really good Esper match here. So we'll block here. So we have to play Viv because that will give us a reach guy, which is what we need right now. We don't need to play this yet.
Every creature deserves life, and I will protect it. Diversity is our greatest strength.
So we could play this, or we can do -5. Grab this. Let's hit this one. So then we can pull in a new Nissa with Elspeth Conquers Death. We also have our EERIE Ultimatum. We got a lot of stuff going on here. It's a nice, long, best-of-1 match. if they take out Vivian, we'll put Vivian back in. So let's see here. We'll go here, we'll go here, and we can go there.
I aimed
too high.
Again, we still have our ultimatum, so we've just refilled everything there. Let's do. Let's do Vivian. I've done this one by accident, so yes, loyalty.
That's precious.
Grab a forest.
We will adapt to any threat.
So I am waiting for. I'm waiting for them to play a Doom Foretold again, and then I'll pop the EERIE Ultimatum. They have a few things that they can get off here. So they'll be able to play Dance for Mans pretty successfully. And it will hurt a little bit. Very, very good match. So we still got a few options. We just need to flood the board. I would actually consider losing Skyclave here too. So we still have access to Kogla, which would be big. Particularly against this deck, because it would start blowing up the enchantments. That is a big, big play there. There we go. All these lovely, lovely permanents back on the board. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the egg. Ooh, that's so nice. So nice. Oh, this deck is just nasty. Let's do this. Do we need anything from here? Let's see. So we could go 5 again. Pull this in.
Nature cannot be
Let's
quelled.
get that one.
I love making new friends.
If they wipe the board again, we still got another EERIE. There you go.
Things I need to do too.
Pretty interesting.
Every creature deserves life, and I will protect them. Every day is a new mutation.
We'll get them off the board. If they wipe it, they wipe it. We'll go from there. So the other play would have been down 2 here, play this, and then we could have done a few other things. What do they got left? We're running through our cards fast. Let's do this.
I call, and Ikoria answers.
All right. Close to lethal. Very close to lethal. We'll see. We'll see what they do here. What do they got left? They got a couple things. Oh, we got Seagate off. Not bad. We got it. Intense best of 1 match there, my friends. Wow, super fun deck. We got everything like clocked off in our first match, best of 1. So I guess if there's anything you guys need to see, that was probably it. No, but seriously, let's keep going. We got another best of 1 and another best of 3 to play here. So very fun. Really like this deck, and working exactly the way that I thought it would today. All right, all the flow. Oh, this is so tough. We got a double glass casket. The risk would be, we're gonna mulligan. There we go. This is much better. We'll keep 6. We'll dump Agadeems because we got ultimatum there. Interesting, interesting to start. We have a Scryland, so I'm going to sit on that for turn 2. Ooh, burn spell. This is going to get good fast. Mono red burn. But this is a destroy sack creature. So it's like a big red deck. So unfortunately, the double vision is 5. This creates a problem. We need to get to Elspeth Conquers Death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep this. I have seen this deck, by the way, once or twice. Here we go. So we can hit this one at least. Take that off the board. The exile is gonna hurt though, my friends. That does hurt. We don't have anything good in there right now. Nice. Nice burn deck. I like it. Like I said, I've seen this once or twice before. Not bad. Fun little deck there. Did not have the right stuff to get that off the board. That deck would not hold up well, though, against the Doom deck. For sure. Good to see it, though. Like I said, healthy meta. Lots of stuff to cover. Alright, Planeswalkers. That concludes our best of 1 matches. Let's go ahead and check out our best of 3 standard rank. There again is the mid-range Sultai mid-range deck if you'd like. We are playing our Abzan Ultimatum deck. Now, Planeswalkers, as always, again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. And additionally, feel free to support the channel down below, either by joining one of the communities to stay in touch or other ways. All right, let's play first. Oh, we go first. I'm going to keep this because I have all 3 colors. I got temples to look, and I do have Nissa here, so little risky, but I'll play it because I like getting the 3 colors. Temur it is. Keep that for now. We got plenty of lands though, so I probably could have got rid of that one really if I wanted to. Well, we need the black source. Alright, so we have Temur Ramp, Temur Adventures Ramp, so they're going to be playing an Ugin deck. This will be slightly hard for us, so we're going to have to go at it pretty hard.
Those who do not speak to the land cannot. The world will shake you loose.
Whew. So here we're going to have to play Duress. Trying to think of what else. I'll have to look here in a minute at our sideboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they'll have Ugin next turn. Absolutely. So we do need to be prepared for that.
Brace myself.
Guy off the board. So I'm purposefully not dropping some of this other stuff here in case they do have Ugin, because it's gonna hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the ultimatum. So we need an Elspeth. This is going to be a tough deck for us to play here in best of 3. I'm going to have to really... Well, we have kill spells, so I can take Terra Peaks off with that.
This is my paradise. Diversity is our greatest strength.
Cower before the elements.
I will take his Bone Crusher off the board. Happy to do that. I need to get to the ultimatum. We don't have the right mana schema either, unfortunately, right now. We need to get some good red flow. Ooh.
I shall return to my isolation.
So I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I got one more land, I could play this and go find Kogla. 2. No good. We're not going to show them what we have. So we'll go to the next match. It's going to be a tough one. The ramp deck is going to be a tough one for us. Eliminate's not going to help. Chain Web might. This glass casket I'm going to dump. We'll keep Duress. Demon's Disciple will help in this case, actually. I'll keep these because they're going to help against Ugin. We need these on the high end. 2 cards to get rid of. Might drop Plains. What's that? 21. It's going to be 25. 2. 425. We'll stay there. Ooh. Eliminate's not going to help. They don't pull back. Extinction Event would be valuable as well. Need that for the flyer. Kogla's good. Maybe we'll drop 1 Yori in there, maybe. Oh, I still like that. Heartless Act is a loss. Drop 1 Heartless Act. There we go. Alright, we'll try. Well, we'll go 2. We'll go Extinction Event. Because this is still going to get a creature. Alright, here we go. We're going to try it. This is going to be a tough matchup against Drub here. We'll see. We'll see. Play first. Bad start. I'll keep this one. Don't have much of a choice. I don't want to go down another one. Drop a land lower here. If we get the EERIE Ultimatum, we're good. It's going to be a tough match. But that is Magic, my friends. Alright. What do we have going on? Are they going to decide yes or no? That art is pretty cool though. I do like that one. Alright, we will keep 6. Dump one of those and go from there. Let's hit a green. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They missed their turn 2 play. I'll be in a better spot. Still not the best. We'll see though. Uh-oh. They left. They left us. There we go. Uh-oh. We're all but but sealed in with our fate here because we did not get a green. This is going to be very, very bad for us. Very, very bad. But it's how it goes. We've been running pretty hot the last couple days, so I'm okay with that. If we could have just got Llanowar on the ground, I would have been pretty happy. They got theirs down, of course. Oh no. Oh no. We should have mulliganed, but going to 5 is just... The odds are so bad when you go to 6, and then you go to 5, your odds are terrible of actually winning. Even with the mulligan roll that we have. I'm gonna play it out though. I'm gonna play it out. So extinction event would have been nice here. Oh man, we're getting hammered. So I'm gonna put Yorion in. That's the only thing I have at this point. Vivian's a dead card for sure. EERIE's a dead card for a while. Literally all they need to do is get... Oh, they have a div.
I will let cities on the wall no longer. Beauty lies
Here we
in
go.
variation.
Here we go. We will keep that. And we'll have to keep tacking in here. There you go. Put your big one in. And go grab
I brought friends.
Terror of the Peaks. And we'll call it a day. There it is. Oh. We are essentially dead this turn. Maybe not. There we go. And I can't attack in. Oh. I can't attack in. So sad. So sad. If they kill one creature, they got it. There, they got it. Oh, knew that's how it was going to go. Bad run on best of 3. We had a great best of 1 first game. Second game, not so great. Best of 3, not so great. But this deck was a lot of fun. Obviously, the 3-color mana was an issue for us here, at least in this one. Did not want to go down another aggressive mulligan, so kind of paid the price there, but that is how it goes. Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and take a look at this deck. So again, Abzan Ultimatum. Deck recursion is the name of the game. We got to see all that in the first match. It was pretty awesome. So with that said, here is what we got going on. This is the deck list. I felt it played really smooth, except for our best of 3 match there. Really enjoyed it. Found some weakness, I'd say, and a little bit on the sideboard there. There's some things that could probably get changed up a little bit, but nonetheless, really enjoyed it. As I always say, make these decks your own for the kind of play that you enjoy as well. Lastly, deck list is available for you down below, as I discussed before. You can always copy and paste there. Additionally, links there. Feel free to stay in touch with my journey. As you can see the proof in the pudding, and then also feel free to share your journeys with me with the Untapped Companion as well. And then feel free to support the channel in ways below as are discussed. Obviously stay tuned and join the community. So very excited. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, if you like the video, please like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. And as always, Planeswalkers, stay safe. I hope you're doing well, and I hope one day we get back to some in real life game matches. I do have a massive card collection as well that I'm hoping to bust out here one of these days again. Anyway, nonetheless, stay tuned. Daily videos, more great content coming your way, and always love to hear your feedback. So, all right, Planeswalkers, stay safe. Mythras out. I'll see you again soon. Stay tuned. And enjoy this Abzan Ultimatum deck.